Oh, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 2 week challenge on Facebook Live. So, we were just a few minutes late because we had a little bit of technical difficulty. As you know, in the season that we're in, everybody's online. So, it's kind of hard for us to get on. So, welcome everyone who's on. I have the privilege this evening to introduce to you two authors along with myself as we go through this challenge with you tonight. Um, so before we get started, as I mentioned, this season that we're in, um, what I wanted to say tonight is as we're going through the season that we're in with this global pandemic, so it's not just one person or one state or one city that's being affected, we are all affected globally. So I just wanted to say really thank you to all the people that are on the front line, all the healthcare workers, the grocery stores, the drivers, Amazons, people that work for Amazon, UPS drivers, UPSers, restaurant employees, and any other essential workers. Just wanted to say from my family to yours, we really thank you for everything that you're doing, and we appreciate you so much. And words can't really express the gratitude, but thank you is always a great set of words. So just wanted to say thank you. So on as we continue with this 2 week challenge, just want to just go over some housekeeping rules. So if you have any comments or any questions, please put that in the chat box. We will see the comments and we will go ahead and address those comments at the end as we go through this. So we welcome all of your comments, we welcome your feedback, but we will just go through that at the end. So everyone that pre-registered, really appreciate that because that gave us a time to send you out some worksheets. And so worksheets kind of look something like this. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. So thank you for those that have registered. And for anyone that registered late, because we sent out that email today, roughly about 2 o'clock. So anyone that registered after that, as long as you've registered, we have your email and your information. So we will get that out to you. We just thought it would be a handy guide for you as you go through this process. Because as we know, with writing is not an easy process. As authors, we've all been through that process, and it wasn't an easy process for us. We were committed to the project, but we've learned some things along the way. So we just came up with something that we can give to you, so you will have something tangible. So just wanted to thank all of those that have registered already. And so as we start, one of the authors is missing. She might be having some technical difficulty. So as we get started, I have with me Miss Stephanie. Stephanie, can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you.
Awesome. So I'm just gonna ask you a question for the audience as well. So who is Stephanie? Just tell us who's. Yeah, who is Stephanie?
That's a good question. I am Stephanie, and I have a nonprofit organization titled Fostering Connections. And Fostering Connections is just created. It was created last year, and it was birthed out of my past. It's stuff that I had went through that encouraged me and motivated me and pushed me to the point where I had a vision, and that vision was to help others out there who may be struggling and maybe going through some salvation and stuff like that as teenagers and children. So I created that to help the community. And also I work full time as a advocate. I help assist families in the community who are going through crises. We help financially as well as provide resources to assist them get out of the crisis. And yeah, and I just put it. I'm a mother. I have 3 boys. They are special needs. 3 of them are autistic, high functioning autistic, as well as ADHD and anxiety. And I have a support group that is special needs family connection, and we get together every third Saturday of the month, and we come together as mothers, as fathers, as caregivers, and we share knowledge and share any problems that we may be going through, and we help one another get through it. And also, I'm an author. I wrote a book with Lesley, co-authored a book. My book was Survive, and the title of the book is International Day of the Girl: A Walk in Our Life. And I'm honored and humbled to be able to do that.
Awesome, awesome. So you mentioned that you wrote a book. So what? And this is a 2 week writing challenge, right? So as authors, we've been inspired. We know what that process is like. You mentioned you wrote a book. So tell us what does writing mean to you, and how has being an author impacted your life?
Okay. Writing. I've always loved writing. Writing was an outlet for me since I was a kid. It was a way that I expressed myself. It was a way to create my own space of safety. Um, it allowed me to be able to live in another world, besides being in the place that I was in. Um, if you've read the book, you would be able to know that I was a foster child. I lived in the system since I was 4 years old until I aged out at 18. And while I was in the system, I had endured a few things that I had battled a few things, such as abuse and mental abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse. And I endured that. And in order for me to let go of some of the stuff that I was going through and to be able to survive and function as a normal child, that's something I did was right. And so I saw that as a way for me to escape the world that I was in. And I also in high school I won the Tom Pettit Thanksgiving essay, where I won $1,000 for my school and $1,000 for
Wow,
myself,
wow.
and awesome. And I didn't even know that my paper was like, I knew it was going to be entered, but I didn't think that it was going to be a hit, a number. So that right there allowed me to see that I'm a writer, and also I participated in high school. I also participated in the newspaper where I write for the youth newspaper, where they allow youth to be able to write their own news. Where we wrote poetry, we wrote articles, we wrote religion, we wrote about what's going on now and different stuff like that. And it was so cool to be able to be a part of that. And that's something I did in high school as well. So I've always been a writer. And becoming an author opened up so many more doorways, and it was a humbling, phenomenal experience. And I always relive it from that first time where you held the book in your hand, and the event that Lesley threw for us for the release of the book. It was awesome. It was beautiful to see, and it allowed us as women to come together and celebrate one another and be able to encourage one another through the process. So co-authoring a book was awesome. And I was already on the journey of becoming an author, because before Lesley came to me and asked me if I would participate in her book, I was already writing a book at the time. Um, I I haven't yet brought out the second book, but I am in the process of writing my book called Shattered, Shaken, but Survived. It's a second series to the introduction of the chapter I wrote in Lesley's book. If you got International Day of the Girl, A Walk in My Life, my title was Survive. If you had received that book and if you read it, you will see the introduction of what I kind of went through in my childhood. So the second book I'm writing is actually going to go more in depth of what I went through and what I endured and how I got through it and how I let go of my past to be able to stand where I am today, to be able to let go of trauma that you went through and be able to heal and be able to forgive and tap into the passion that's within you, like turn your pain into passion, turn your pain into a message. So it doesn't matter what we go through. It's what we're going to do with it. What are we going to do? How are we going to create something out of what we went through, and we always go through something to help somebody else. And so I want to help create an impact in the world, release my book to be able to help others who may be going through something similar, or who may have gone through the same thing, or maybe even going through worse than I have. And they may be sitting right there thinking, I can't do this no more, and they want to give up their lives. But then they got a hold of my book, or a book like mine, and it brings about hope and inspiration. So writing is something that I love to do, and I look forward to writing many more books.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that. I don't know if you touched on it when I asked you who is Stephanie, but for those that are watching, so I hear an accent. So where is Stephanie from?
I did not cover that.
Yeah, no, we did talk about that.
It kind of threw me off. Okay, so where am I from? Good question. I'm from Bermuda, a very small island, 21 square mile. Everybody knows everybody, pretty much. And it's a very small island, and it's beautiful. It's touristy. You could go there and you would enjoy it. And the culture is very different from America, because everybody speaks to everybody. Everybody holds the door open for you, says thank you, says hi, and not worrying about, why are you speaking to me, type of thing. It's like a friendly culture. We always smile at each other. It's love. Nothing but love.
Awesome. All right, Stephanie, thank you very much for that. Mm-hmm. So we are going to bring on Miss Maritza.
Okay.
Maritza, how are you this evening?
Hello, this is the first time using a StreamYard, so
I hear an echo in the background, but that's okay. We'll work through that.
Okay.
Do you have two volumes up besides what you're looking at right now? Do you have another device on?
Yes. My phone is on my computer, and turn off my computer.
Okay, good. Okay, so now it's much better. Oh no, I can hear myself. No, because if you have two things on, that might be the echo, but we're not going to worry about that. So good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight, and welcome. And before we get into it and we say who is Maritza, let me just say congratulations on today being your 10th year anniversary of being an author. What an amazing feat that is. So let me celebrate you by saying congratulations. Congratulations.
Last year, amazing. We were supposed to be celebrating and with different events in Miami.
Are you able to turn up your volume a little bit?
Okay, hold on. Okay, it's full. It's my phone.
Okay.
Hear me better?
That's good. Let's go with that.
Okay. But life is like that. You plan, but God has another plan for you. So now I'm celebrating with Mosaic and all the sisters and everybody that is going to watch today this show and in the future. So I'm really happy, excited, and let's celebrate.
Awesome. At the top of the hour when we started, as whenever this recording will be for in perpetuity. So somebody may get a hold of this replay and wonder what was going on in our life at this time in this moment. So we acknowledge the situation that we're going through. And it's not just here in the United States, it's a global situation. So and that was another reason why we kind of came together, and we thought that this would be a great time for a write-in challenge, because a lot of people are at home, whether if you're not an essential worker like myself, you're at home, or you're working from home. And writing is always very it's like a therapy. A lot of people don't know how to start it, when to start it, and so forth. So we're glad that we can offer this to the world. So in saying that, who is Maritza? I think I may have lost your volume. Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm a mother, I'm an educator, uh, a writer. I started 10 years ago writing my memoir. I thought it was going to be just one book to celebrate my life, my events with my family, with my friends. That's it. But after my editor revised the book, she told me, how you're not going to publish this book and continue to writing? You have talent and you have too much things you can share. So that's what I decided to continue writing. And so far, well, this one was my first baby 10 years ago. I decided to publish because the story that was here, it was not only my story, my memoir, it was my journey of faith, and it touched several lives during the process that I was writing the book. And my editor encouraged me to publish it. I did, but as you see, it's in English, and I'm from Colombia. So they invite me to present the book in in Bogota, in my country. So it was impossible for me to come with a book in English. So I was forced to translate it into Spanish. And here it is, Ojos Avellana, in Spanish. It was incredibly difficult to translate it because it's like to write another book. It took me a few months until I get the two books together, editing and publish it. And for those things that you never know, my publisher decided to close in December this year, in last year. So I was once again forced to move a little bit and make a few changes in my writing and in my work. And I decided to do my own publishing house, Luz del Mes, and I published my books, all my books, with Luz del Mes Publishing House. So it was a challenge, but we did it. We published all the books, my 7 books, all the way again to a second edition with the support of my husband. And we did it in 3 months. We moved all the books to a new publishing house. And here we are experiencing this uncertainty, these emotions that we all are experiencing. But I know it's going to be a learning lesson for
Amen.
everybody.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
Sure.
A new beginning for others because things are not going to be the same.
Right.
And we have to move on, whatever it's going to be for us. And it's going to be for the best, definitely. So that's why this idea of the writing challenge, I did it in the past 2 years to write for a month, actually for 40 days. We have length time for Christians, 40 days. So every week we write about a topic, beginning from life, from memories, from hometown, uh, special events. What did you learn? So each week it was something different. To at the end of the month or the 45 days, to have something for you to start your legacy, your memoir. And I walked through the process with the participants, and it was a really nice experience because some of them already published several books, and it doesn't have to be a memoir. When you start writing, you find your passion, you find your steps and your road, and you decided, okay, maybe I'm not going to publish writing memoir or legacy, but probably a children book. So I did also children stories, and I helped like two or three authors to go through the process of these writing children books. And it's inspiring, it's motivational, it keeps you busy. And right now that we are at home with this social distance and isolation, I think it's a great opportunity that we start that challenge, the writing challenge, to go through the process and the experience to write and maybe to be an author.
Awesome.
So,
So my next question was going to be, how has being an author changed your life? So I think pretty much you've answered that question. You have a legacy of 10 years. You have a catalog of books. You've translated books in another language, which is amazing. So you really showed that writing, having a passion for writing, it's not just one book, and it can look so many different ways. It can be in another language. It can be a span of for the rest of your life. So thank you for sharing all that. For really showing our audience that it's not just about that one book. For me, so let me introduce myself. So I'm Lesley George, the founder of Mosaic Inc. And really, Mosaic to me is as we can see, there's a tile that you will see in the title, in the logo. Basically, what that tile means to me is that every woman is different, different shape, color, culture, language, whatever it is. But that middle piece doesn't all come together, and it's not cohesive if they're not all together. So that's really what Mosaic means to me. It's just a collection. I call myself the lighthouse for women, to help women over that bridge. So whatever that may look like. And the process of writing the first book, and this is our book. I don't know if you guys can see it based on the light. International Day of the Girl. That writing that book was we didn't know how it was going to go because we were first time authors. What we knew is that we were passionate and committed to getting out our stories. And in getting out your stories, as you know, Maritza, you've been doing it longer than we have, it can be very triggering. There can be a lot of emotions that come up with whatever the story is. Stephanie shared with us that she was in the foster system. That's a very triggering experience. And a lot of times, our experiences, we really don't expose them for years, for many years. So they're buried like under the surface, and we don't really know how that's really affected us. So now you have women that are going to come together and share their story for the world. One of the authors, and when you pick up the book, you'll see all the different authors. So one of the authors, Brenda Stacy, her story, there was a time in her life that she did not talk for years. So there's so many different things that can happen to us. And I believe 100% in every fiber of my body that every woman has a story, and her story will resonate with another woman. Because a lot of times when we're going through things, we think it's just us. And a lot of times that can hold that shame and everything else that comes along with that. But our one story can touch so many other people's lives. And we don't know whose life that's going to touch. It's not really up to us to figure out whose life it is for us to touch, right? But I do believe that our test, as they say, is your testimony for you to now witness with that for everyone else. So ladies, thank you for that. As we get going, I am going to have Maritza. You talked about the challenge that you did once before. So for us, the challenge is going to be for the first week, which is this week, is going to be home memories. So we're going to be doing it for it's a 2 week challenge, but it's over 4 days. So the first day, which is tonight, is home memories. The second one is your hometown. So whatever your hometown is, whether it's a city, state, country, wherever it is, lessons that you've learned. So you pick whatever lesson that you would like to share, you would like to capture. And the last one is going to be what motivates you. So the ideal thing with all the different topics, and for those that had registered ahead of time, they would have the topics as well with the worksheets that they received. The ideal thing is at the end of this 2 weeks, you will now have a document that you've written with your emotions and everything else that's into it, that you've written, and now you have something that maybe for 30 years, 20 years, I don't know, you could be 15. So maybe you never really looked at the different things that has been going on in your life. But our goal and our hope and our prayer for you is that at the end of this 2 weeks, this 4 days that we're going to meet, that you will now have something tangible that you will have in your hand. And you know, you hear Maritza talk a lot about legacy. Legacy is very huge, and legacy does not have to start when you're 80. Legacy is something that can start at any point in time, and we just add along. So I'm really glad that these two ladies have joined me. Each one of them having their different experiences with writing. So Maritza, I'm going to have you now talk about the topics, in terms of word count and anything else, because based on your experience from you doing this before. So I'll just have you go ahead and jump in.
Wow. Okay. So the thing with the past is, as you mentioned, and as I mentioned before, each week we are going to write on a topic. So let's focus on this first week. It's going to be our memory. So what I usually do is write, start writing without editing. Just sit down in front of the computer, open a Word document, be sure to save it. Let's say you save it as home memory, and you start just writing and writing without stopping, without worrying about grammar, without worrying about mistakes, without no editing, just writing. And that will allow you to let go and flow your inspiration. When you finish the first page, you have to write a whole page. It was around, let's say, 500 words in times numeral 12, right? Or any font that you decided, but just one page. So then you let it sit down for an hour or in the afternoon, the following day, and you go back again and you start looking at details. You would say, for example, uh, I was born in Colombia, and period. So when you start looking at details, so I was born in Bogota, Colombia, in South America, in a house, and you start just describing more details about the first sentence. And then you go with the second, with the third. So you start writing, adding adjectives, description. The following day, you just read again what you wrote, and you start putting emotion using the senses. Okay, I was born in Bogota, Colombia, in South America, a beautiful country with two oceans, and you start describing the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the cities on those oceans. And if your city is not in that place, I say my Bogota, Colombia is far away from Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean. So you start giving more details, more emotions. to your home memory. So the, for the you read it again just 3 times, and the third time, for sure you will have a good description of your home memory with details, with emotions, with the senses, and thanks to the computer, it will help you fix the grammatical mistakes. And at the end of the week, for sure you will have 1,000 words of your home memory. It's a wonderful experience. It's sometimes emotional because we are very sensitive right now. And for sure, there will be some tears coming out when you remember your hometown or you start writing about your home memory, especially because we are in a uncertain time and maybe we are missing our parents, we are away or we are no longer with our parents. And these uncertain times will make probably things a little bit difficult to write, but is when you write the best, when you're sad, when you're emotional, when you are in tears, things come out and you never know that is from the bottom of your heart, is what inspiration needs. Not in your mind, because when you start writing and thinking, things are going okay and you're writing pretty well. But when it comes out of your heart,
Oh, did she freeze? Okay. Stephanie, she must have frozen. Um, so Stephanie, let me ask you a question. So what contributed to your success of being an author? And a lot of times people look at success in terms of money. I don't really look at success as money. So what would you say contributed to your success as an author?
I would never say money. Money is not at the forefront of my mind. What's at the forefront of my mind is impacting others. How many people out there am I giving hope to? How many people out there is being inspired by the story I share? You know, so that's what I see success as who am I reaching out to? And when they send me a message and say, "Hey, Stephanie, I don't know if you know, but I see what you're doing, and everything that you do reflects, like I'm a Christian woman, and I'm always really looking to God and praying daily and trying to live the right life. And not only that, I am healed, and I try to live as if I'm healed. There are times where I would be triggered. There are times where I feel like I'm not enough. There are times where I feel worthless, or I would be triggered back to an old memory where I would have to heal it all over again. That happens. But I have forgiven my past. I have forgiven myself. I have forgiven others. And I've moved on. And every day I have to keep fighting against my past. I have to keep fighting against what was cruel to me. I have to keep fighting my own self and my own goals, because we could be our own worst critics. So I see success as being able to take the next step, being able to know that I'm living for tomorrow, being able to know that I've accomplished something, and helping others while I'm accomplishing something. It's not about me, it's about the next person. So that's how I see success.
Awesome. You talked about the night of the book launch, and for me, it was, words I can't really find the words for that night. One of Maya Angelou's phrases is people don't remember what you say to them, they remember how you make them feel. And
Yeah.
so just the energy and everything else from that night, what I obviously when you're going through a process, you really don't know what that process looks like. When I approach the book is with 9 women, myself included. So then there's 8 other women, and the 8 other women did not know each other. And so coming out of that book launch, and we launched on International Women's Day, and so that's something that I'm very purposeful about, because Mosaic Inc. is a company that is based on empowering and inspiring women and girls. Therefore, those 2 days of the year are very important to me. International Day of the Girl and International Women's Day. So the book was launched on International Women's Day. And within 24 hours, the book became a Amazon #1 bestseller. And not only that, the women in the book that had never met each other, I knew everybody, but everybody else didn't know everybody. What the amazing part to that is for me to see the relationships that have birth out of that. So we didn't just come together just to do this book, just to for whatever reason. Everything about that book is so intentional. I have had men that have come up to me and said, I read your book and I can now understand my wife. One of my stories, I had like 3 little quick stories in there, but one of the things in there for me was colorism. And a lot of people don't talk about colorism in the Black community. They don't realize that even in the Black community, we still have these different grades and varies of shapes and sizes of color. So colorism was something that I spoke on. And really and truly, I'll be honest with you and tell you that when I wrote that, I didn't think that that would resonate with anybody. But I had people that came up to me and said, Lesley, everything that you wrote in that book, I did that. And so when you hear that, that really fuels you to know that you are in your purpose. And if you can touch a husband that can understand his wife, and you can touch other women that say, Lesley, I went through that. Yeah, that just makes you know that you just keep on going, right? Because we all are put here for a purpose. And I say all the time, the book is not just a book. The book is a tool to help women come together to help heal. So that really is what that book is about for me.
Right.
So yeah, so in terms of,
and the words that were written is a reflection of oneself,
True.
and it's authenticity, and it's true, it's raw. It talks about emotions. It talks about what that person is feeling at that moment, at that time, what they're feeling. So it's like it's a lot to write. It's a lot to put your heart into something. But if you know what the purpose of it is,
right,
it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Like nobody, like the thoughts of what is that person gonna say? What is the abuser gonna say about this? Or the thoughts of what is the community gonna say about this?
True.
That just walks away from you because it's not about them and it's not about you. It's about who it's going to, who that message is going to touch. Because that message may help that other person tap into their purpose. It may be like, hey, okay, you know what? I'm not a victim. I don't have to be like a victim. I could be somebody. I could do something. Look at her. She did it, So it brings out that passion in that next person because they see that somebody has endured what they're enduring or has endured worse than what they're enduring and say, hey, let me get myself together, So
thank you for saying about triggers, emotions. It's going to bring out something, and that's another thing that I think may stop people from writing, because you initially are going to wonder, what is everybody else going to think? It's your story, right? So it may include other family members. It may include your parents. It may include a very close sister or brother, whatever. But it's your story.
Your perspective.
Exactly. It's how you showed up in those moments. So it has nothing to do, it doesn't take anything away from your relationships that you have with your family members. And a lot of times, a lot of people get stuck with that. And that stops them from sharing their story. Many years ago, I heard, I think it was Les Brown, Les Brown says that the richest place in the world, or the place that has all the talents and all the books and all of this, is the graveyard. And that is because a lot of people get stuck in what happens if this person reads it, or how are they going to feel. And just like what you just said, it is not about us.
Mm-hmm.
We went through those trials and those tests, but those tests are a testimony for us now to share with the world, because our success is for somebody else as well. When we get up, that people are always watching. I said that in an interview that I did not too long ago. Somebody is always watching, not watching to criticize and not watching for anything else. But they may be at a level that you were once, maybe you were there 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, but they're watching you because they're looking at you and saying, oh, wow, I think, what she's doing now, I might be able to. So if you fall down, that just killed the whole, it's like a domino effect, right? Because if you fall down, all that's going to do is just stop those other dominoes from doing what they need to do, because you fell down and you didn't get up.
Right.
The falling down is not the problem. Most people have an issue of getting back up.
Getting
So
up.
fall 50 times, make a mistake, whatever your past is, whatever it may look like, get back up, because somebody is waiting on you to
Mhm.
keep it moving forward, so they know it's okay for me. It's I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
And
And that's why.
that's the main
Mhm.
thing.
Right, and that's why I repeat the words, forgive yourself. Because once you forgive yourself from all the shame, from all the guilt, from all the feelings you have, and then next you forgive the next person, you forgive the other people. Because that kind of makes you a whole person again. Because you're forgiving yourself, you're forgiving others. So nobody else's opinion matters because you know that you forgave. You know that you have moved on. You don't have to physically go and tell them, hey, I forgive you. They should know that they were forgiven by the way you carry yourself, by the way that actions are, what you
True.
do. So like when when I talked about how I was already on the plan of writing my own book before Lesley contacted me, I was already on the verge of writing my own book. However, I had fear take over me, and when Lesley called me, it was like a God-given time. It was the perfect and most perfect full time. And it made me sit down and be intentional and actually write everything down. And yes, I did have moments where I didn't want to write. I was like, I can't do this. I never worded it to Lesley, I don't remember. But I know there were times where I was crying to my sister, I'm like, I can't do this. And my sister would be like, she'll remind me and she'll stand there and say, Steph, this isn't about you no more. This is about the next person. And she will always remind me, like, continue to write, continue to help inspire somebody else because somebody else is out there waiting for your message. And that's why I always talk about somebody's waiting on you
Hmm.
because there's somebody that's going through it right now and they're waiting on your message so that they could take a step up, so they could
Yeah.
take the next step, so they could take the next level and just tap into it, and once you tap into that passion, it's all over.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna stop you. Nobody's gonna stop you because your passion is taking right over. You know.
Awesome, awesome. I have on the screen a comment from Sarah. Sarah is one of our authors. The chapter that she wrote was about doubt. Very, very inspirational. So, Sarah, we see you and thank you for tuning in tonight. Maritza, I'm going to go back to you because I know your internet must have froze in the middle of talking about the challenge. I know we were talking about the words and for them to continue writing. Don't worry about grammar. So let me just let you finish up.
Okay. Okay, just recap. We just writing. No worries about the grammar, no worries about edition. Just keep writing. The second day you go again and you try to add details using adjectives, descriptions. And the third day you go again and you just let go and flow all your inspiration, whatever you feel that you need to add. For sure, by the third day, you will have more than 1,000 words or at least 1,000 words or your home memories. That is your beginning. And it's a great challenge. And I was talking about that we are a little bit emotional during these days, and probably some of the details are going to be a little tough. You will feel maybe some tears. That is the process of healing. That when you're writing, you let go of everything that is inside of you, and you start a healing process. It's really a an excellent way to let go things that you have to let go and put it in writing. And you will be amazed of all the things that you're going to experience. So I wish you, all of you, to start a wonderful first with writing challenge and write all about your home memories. That is our beginning. Enjoy. That is the most important thing.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. All right, ladies, we are getting ready to wrap up. I want to say to Stephanie and Marissa, thank you very much for you guys joining us tonight. And just real quick, what would you like to leave with our first time authors? I know we had some people that registered that they're not an author, but they have written material and they haven't done anything with it. So what would you like to leave with them to let them know that, you know, they can move forward? And also, you know, I had Sarah that put writing brings about healing, and that is correct. Because you know you're getting whatever, you know, especially the time that we're in right now. So the time that we're in right now, they may be some underlying stress that we're going through. It may not be stress that you are going to say, you know, okay, yeah, like right now I'm stressed. They may be like a hovering, you know, stress that's going on in our body. And one thing is our body holds a lot of stuff, especially women, right? So we hold a lot of stuff in our body. And so that's important right there, what Sarah said about, you know, it brings about healing because you're releasing it. You know, a lot of times, like you said, home memories is gonna be triggering, right? So somebody, this may be the first time ever that they're putting down on paper some of their home memories, right? And all you're doing is you're just releasing it. And once you release it, you can talk about it again. And the more and more you talk about it, it becomes part of you. So it's now you. You know what I mean? So Sarah, thank you for putting that in the chat, because I think that is very important, because it does bring about healing. So yeah, so what would either one of you can go? What would you like to leave with? First time authors, maybe we have some authors before and have not written in a while. Like I said at the top of the hour, I think now is really a good time to just sit down and reflect. So whether you're working or not, a lot of other things are not open, so we're not going out. We're not doing a lot of things that we did before. So I think now is just a really good time for the earth, the world to just settle down. My pastor said that probably about a month ago. He did a sermon on that, is to just settle and settle down. So as we're settling down, we can put some words to paper. So who wants to go first as to what would you like to leave with authors? Maritza, you want to go? Hold on, let me. She's muted. All right, Maritza, go ahead. I can hear you now. Oh, hold on. Unmute again. Okay, wait.
You want to use Kimberly as a question and I can answer her?
Say that again.
Kimberly asked something, how to start writing memories.
Okay, go ahead.
How to tackle it. So the first of all, as I told you, open the computer, open the Word document, and let go whatever inspiration comes to you. Doesn't matter which one. Doesn't has to be in chronological order. It has to be doesn't need to be in progression. You just start writing. The second day is the day that you start cutting and paste and putting a little bit of order on your ideas. You are not editing, you just let go whatever comes to your mind, and write, 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 write. The second day is the day that you start adding a little bit of details. And on the third day is the one that you start putting a little bit of order. That's why you don't have to worry about the order. You don't have to worry about the details. You don't have to worry about the grammar when you start writing. And if you start writing and you start crying, it is a healing. It is something wonderful that you are experiencing. Don't stop. Let those tears come out and let those words in the computer be there. Doesn't need to be published. It's for you. It's for your healing process. It's, and then you will decide it. At the end, I wrote for a year my memoir. Then I edited for another year. And it wasn't until the third year that I decided to publish when my editor told me all the things that she told me during the edition process. And it was a story. It was not just for me. It was a story that needed to be born for other people to hear and experience probably the same things that I did. So that's why for now, don't worry, Kimberly, and everybody that is listening, just write, write, write. And cry if you need to cry. It's okay.
Awesome. I think that was great. I like that 3 day process. You start to write one day, just dump it out. Just dump it out. And you start working on it day two and day three. So yeah, so thank you for that. So Stephanie, what would you like to leave with our first time authors, people that have stuff that's on the shelf that don't know what to do with it, or the people that are willing to take this challenge for the next 2 weeks? What do you want to leave with them?
Yeah, I would like to say one of my favorite quotes is the flower that blooms in adversity is the rarest and most beautiful of all. So that's one of my favorite quotes that I use all the time. um, I would say create a space for yourself of being quiet, just being still, and just letting go of all the fears, letting go of all the worries, letting go of all the opinions from yourself and from others, and just creating that space of openness, stillness, and just like let it all go. And then, like Maritza said, writing is healing. Writing is truly healing. It's self therapy, And I would say create that space and first begin with all like quietness, getting rid of all the toxic energy, getting rid of all the toxic thoughts, and just letting go of everything. And then sitting there, and the first challenge is turn memories, right? Try to find the happy memories if you want to keep it like a good memory, like try to find those happy memories, even if you have to dig deep within and not start like if you have to cry it out, it's okay. And just start writing and just be you and be authentic, be honest. Talk about every detail, talk about everything you sense, talk about the smiles, like back home in Bermuda around this time is when I start missing home, because we have a culture where we do Easter, we do it big, we have events going on, we have kites playing, we have marbles playing, we have fish cakes and hot cross buns, like all that. That's a culture. That's a thing that I like being home about, and I miss. So I kind of get depressed around this time, and I wrote a poem about being back home in Bermuda about that. So it's being able to create that space and being able to create your story. And it doesn't matter what's going on, just go ahead and let go and write it all down.
Awesome, awesome. I like that what you said about being authentic. Finding your true voice sometimes can be hard for people, but at the end of the day, nobody can beat you at being you, then nobody can, right? And a lot of times we are not sure, who we are, what's our voice, if we need to be like somebody else. But there is nobody on this planet like you. I know that there is nobody that can do what Lesley does like Lesley. And the same for you,
I learned.
Stephanie and Maritza. There is no, I'm telling you, that is
Yep.
one thing that I know. There is
Find the
nobody that
voice.
can there's nobody that can outdo Lesley like Lesley. There's no, I mean, that's just it, right? So,
Where
you
everyone
know,
happy.
so yeah, so find that authentic voice, because the world wants to hear that. The world wants to hear what you have to offer. We all have something to offer. The world is waiting and wants to hear that. So, ladies, thank you once again for joining us. To our viewers, thank you for those that registered. Thank you for those that are watching us on Facebook. To those that will be watching us on the replay, those that may be watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back here next Thursday. I think Thursday is the 23rd. I don't remember the date. But we'll be back next Thursday, same time, same place. And next week, we will be talking about your hometown. So those that are going to write about home memories, yeah, we want to hear some interaction in the chat of who wants to share. And then next week we're going to have some more information for you, and then we're going to be talking about your hometown. So once again, ladies, take care. Maritza, congratulations again.
Yes.
10 years. That is an amazing, amazing, amazing feat. So thank you, and keep on empowering all over the world. If you want to just share real quickly, because I know that you have authors all over the world. You even have, you even created some hubs where you only have certain hubs of people in certain parts of the world. So if you want to talk about that just real quickly, we probably have about 2 more minutes. So if you want to talk about that real quickly before we log off.
Well, yes, we work together. For those of you that start writing, we can put together all the writings in an anthology. We did this with three anthologies, Luz del Mes, with 33 authors from around the world, from Greece, Japan, United States, South America, Central America, and North America. And this is one of the things that I really feel so happy because today this anthology at this moment in Japan is presented in Tokyo, in Kyoto, exactly, in Kyoto. And well, the Lord has plans that you never know. Now I'm celebrating here with you ladies and all of you that are going to listen the launch of this book that was supposed to be in Kyoto, but I was not able to travel. You know why?
Yeah,
Uh, but things are the way that it is.
that's right.
Now it's going to be probably more people is going to watch it than you never know. But yes, we can put together our works in an anthology or we never know. Let's wait for the 4-week challenge to see what is the product of our work.
Amen.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, ladies, thank you very much. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you to our viewers. You guys take care, and we're out.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.